Hey everyone, RoDev here, and in today's video we are going to be looking at one of the fundamentals of scripting, and those are if statements. So let's get right into it. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is creating a new script in server script service for this, and it's going to be called if statement script. This obviously doesn't matter on your guys' end, but I'm just going to call it if statement script. And in here, the first thing I'm going to be doing is creating a variable. We already learned this, so this one's going to be called local, let's say x equals 3. And with local x equals 3, what we can do is actually check if it equals 3. And for this, what I'm going to be doing is typing if. And remember, we can't call a variable if because that is reserved. Say I wanted to make it equal to a string. It's telling me expected identifier got if. Basically, if is a keyword to create an if statement, and obviously we can't call a variable an if statement. So here's how we make an if statement. You just type if, and then we want to insert our condition. So this is just the keyword if, and now we want our condition. So let's say if x equals 3, then, and then hit enter, you'll get an end. So let's break this down. If x equals 3. So basically when you want to set something, so if I want to make x equal 3, for example, if I were to do local x equals 0, and then I want to set it to 3, I can do x equals 3. And the script will update the variable. We looked at this in the variables video, by the way. The script's going to update the variable and make x equal 3. But right here, what we're doing is actually checking the variable. If x equals 3. If I make it only 1, I'm going to get an error. And it's going to say expected that, and it's going to give me an error. And if I type another equals, it's going to know that we're checking if it equals 3. So now this whole thing is evaluated. And basically, since x does equal 3, when we reach here, it's going to replace this to true in its own mind, right? It's not going to do that for you, but basically the script will know that it's basically just going to say yes or true to itself. And then anything inside this block of code will, it'll be executed. So if I type print x does equal 3, and then I hit run. Remember, run runs all the scripts, but it won't spawn you in. It says x does equal 3. But if we remove this, or we comment it out by putting 2 minus lines or 2 dashes, x will equal 0, and it doesn't print anything. So basically right here what we can use is an else. So instead of end, we can type else, hit enter, and an end will be created. And here we can type x does not equal 3. And if I hit run, it says x does not equal 3. But if I do bring this code back, it's going to say x equals 3, and it will not execute the code inside else. And that's because this was created to true, and this well, it didn't run this because this condition passed. So basically the code in here ran, and this code didn't because x equaled 3. If x was not equal to 3, it would run this code instead, as we already looked at. And now one more thing, if you hit shift, and basically the key is next to 1, and it just looks like this, so take a look at it, find it on your keyboard, and if you hit shift and press it, it should create this, and basically this just means not equal. So if x is not equal to 3, x does not equal 3, and then we're going to put x equals 3 here. So if x is not equal to 3, then print x does not equal 3. So x currently does equal 3, so it prints x does equal 3. But if we change x to 2, x does not equal 3. And I also want to show you guys some other statements. So if x is greater than or equal to 3, so if we make this 5, it's going to print x, let's just change the print statements to like a and b. So if x is greater than or equals 3, it's going to print a. But if, let's say this was 3, it's also going to print a because it's greater than or equal to. But if this was 2, it would not work. As you can see, it prints b instead. And basically, this is how a greater than or equal to statement works. This is a less than or equal to statement. So if since x is 2, this will print a because x is less than or equal to 3. So this is a less than or equal to statement. And right here we can change this to something like 3. This will also print a because x is less than or equal to 3. It's equal. If we make this 4, finally it's not going to work. It prints b because this condition did not run. This code did not run, so I went down to the else, and it ran the else code. And from here, what we can also do is just greater than. So if x is bigger than 3, if I make this 3 now, it's going to print b because x equals 3. It's not greater than 3. And if I make this something like 2, I'd say less than 3, it's going to print a because 2 is less than 3. But if I make this something like 3, it's not going to work. It's b because x is not less than 3. X is 3. And now I want to look at and or. So if x, let's say if x equals 3, and let's create another variable, local y equals, you can even do string, so I'm going to say hello. If x equals 3, and, this is a new keyword, and y equals, remember we're checking this time, hello. So basically right here, if x is equal to 3, so this has to equal 3, right here, x, and y also has to equal hello. Then it's going to print a. And both of those are true right now, so it's going to print a. But if we remove the o, it's going to print b, because y is no longer equal to hello. But if we remove this, oh, yeah guys, so I just realized what the word was there, but I'm just going to remove that. Basically, since they were the same, it printed a. I did have to cut out there since might have said something, but yeah. Anyway, we're going to move on, and we're going to look at something called or. So this basically means if either one of these is true. So if x equals 2, remember this is going to become false, so it's not going to run the code, but we're using an or. So if the other statement is true, then it will run. So as you can see, it prints a because one of the two statements was true. If both of the statements is true, I'm going to remove h this time. It's going to print b because basically both of them were false and none of them were true, so it's going to print b. And that's basically how if statements work. That's a really basic way. Now I'm going to show you guys a really cool example. The base plate right here, we're going to unanchor it and then re-anchor it basically. So what we're going to do is first create a variable for base plate. So local base plate equals game.workspace.baseplate, and then we're going to do, you can also by the way use if statements to check properties. So we're going to do if baseplate.anchored equals true, then we're going to do baseplate.anchored equals false. We're going to wait 1 second. And remember, a better way to do wait is task.wait, but you guys don't have to do this yet since you're beginning scripting. Just know that task.wait is better. And yeah, if it's confusing, don't use it, just type wait. That's what I'm actually going to do for this video. We're going to do baseplate.anchored equals true. And if you watch this, the baseplate will fall, and after a second it's going to stop. That's because the baseplate started out as anchored. Anchored equals true. Remember, the checkboxes are Boolean values. They're either true or false. This is false, this is true. So if we try another property like can collide, if can collide equals true, then we're going to run the code here, anchored, or unanchored and anchored. And if we make can collide a property that is false and hit run, as you can see, nothing actually happens because can collide is false and this says true. So that's basically how if statements work. And real quick, let's take up the homework from last video. Alright guys, so for the homework for the last video, I'm going to give you guys homework for this video in a few seconds here, but last video, I'm just going to do one of them, but the rest you guys should know how to do. We're going to do add nums, or local function add nums, and then the first parameter, so we can do like x and y, and then we could do print x plus y, and here we can call the function, and then we could do like 5 and 5, this should make 10. I'm going to do 6, so basically x equals 5 and y equals 6. If I hit run, it's going to print 11. And basically that's one of them. You can also change up the names of the functions and then do something like division. So if you want to do 5 divided by, or 10 divided by 5, it's going to print out 2 because the function now does division, prints out 2 because x will equal 10 and then y will equal 5 and then 10 divided by 5 equals 2, and we're going to print that. Basically all of this gets replaced by 2 and then it prints it. So yeah, basically you just do this for all of them. So you'd keep the addnums function, make a new one, and use division instead. But yeah, it's basically the homework for the last video taken up. Let's do homework for this video, and for this video I want you guys to do, let's say, actually I have no idea what to do for this video, so let's just do something like the base plate, but let's do a part that's up in the air. So you guys need to do a part that's up in the air, and then you guys need to use an if statement to check one of its properties, except the properties we did in this video. And I actually want you guys to do something like material. So if part.material, so let's say if game.workspace.baseplate.material equals, if you remember we did this in the first video, if enum.material. If the material equals neon, then print baseplate material equals neon, and then right now it's not neon, so it's gonna print false. Oh no, wait, what? Oh, never mind. So basically, the material was not neon. I was thinking of something else, but the material was not neon, so I printed. So it didn't really print anything. The game just went past the if statement and did something else, or would have executed line 5, which is like print x, or S. If it run's gonna print S, and basically that's because it just went past the if statement. It didn't execute the code in here because this whole statement was false, so it didn't execute the code. So yeah, basically just do that with the material, a few times if you want. Just make the little anchored thing. It's gonna fall down, wait a second, and be anchored. And anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and learned something about if statements in this video. And other than that, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to join the Discord server. Peace.